All right, family. Black Power is the true power with General Sasunetti kick back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to not only the Sasunetti YouTube page, but the General Seti YouTube page, two dynamic powerhouse institutions on YouTube, giving you nothing but Black Power, Black Divinity. I want you to subscribe immediately. I want you to become a member. Link for the memberships right down in the video description is in the chat. All you had to do is just click it. You'll get a video introduction, rundown on the memberships, what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join, even if you don't. I appreciate your presence here at the Sasunetti General Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. The General got a new website up on Teachable, uploading a lot of dynamic curriculums, powerhouse programs, certificate courses. First one up, 25 Steps to the Redemption. A definitive Black manhood designed by the General, strictly for the brothers. It's an amazing program. You can preview it by clicking the link. Also included the Brotherhood of Heru Roundtable live stream where the brothers sit down once a week discussing very important, vital, powerful information pertinent to their growth and development. Get on over there, check it out, family. Preview the curriculum, become a brother, become a member today. Ring the alarm, KingSeti.com, online marketplace, official. General Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room in the house. I got something for you, family. I know you're going to like and love. Get over there, check out that catalog, get a discount, shop and save and shop. Pull the fire alarm. GeneralSeti.com, Seti University, over 2,500 videos, 40 different subjects, all the subjects that you know and love from the General. That's right, Omega, Voyages of the Nile, when Egypt ruled the earth, Nubia, mother of ancient Egypt, from Naga, the nigger, African origins of the Hindu Kush, Black Babylon. We got military geography, cosmology. We got that for your family. Black Power economics and education. We got Black Power politics, economics, nation building. We got that for your family. The Black woman is God making of the white man. All religions exposed, occult, New World Order, Illuminati, and so much, much more. Not another website nowhere on the planet that could compare or compete. Become a member today. Everybody know General Seti popping on Patreon. The popping his page on Patreon, by far over 500 exclusive live stream. The link, boom, it's right there in the chat. It's at the top of the chat. All you had to do is just click it, boom, get over there, and you're going to see one of the most amazing Patreon page on the planet. Become a patron today and get that work. To all the family that donated to the General, you know I thank you and I appreciate you. Those that would like to donate to this hard-working General, you see me out here, you know what it is. The link is right there in the chat. Click it. I appreciate you very much, and make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, King Seti, General Seti, Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends, and comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass. Where my notes at, y'all? We about to go to work, family. Let me get my note. Here we go. That's one. That's just one. Here we go. All right, family, we black again. Here we go, family. We talking about the primordial serpent worship of ancient Africa. And this is really, when you think about the serpent, see, a lot of people got to understand the complexity of the serpent. You know, even when you're talking about wisdom, you see, be ye wise as serpents. This is what it say. I believe that was in Luke. I believe it was in Luke, where it say, be ye wise as serpents. Because when you think about even, the letters. When we talk about cursive, you see people scribe. You see, that's serpentine. That's serpentine. Even when you talk about language and when you talk about writing, you see, when you talk about literature, even when you look up the definition of coil, or you look up the definition of spiral, and you go to synonyms, you will see that scroll is also a synonym of coil and of spiral. You see what I'm saying? So even in the area of wisdom, of writing, of literature, you see this is attributed to the serpent. That's why you see the dragon. You see the dragon reading books. Good and goddamn well ain't no dragon reading no books. See, this is where the mind got to click and say, this is allegory. This is esoterical. You see, the dragon is a zoo type. Now, it's crazy as hell because, when you talk about Jesus got all these zoo types. Do y'all know that the unicorn is one of the zoo types of Jesus Christ? I say, goddamn, they straight out the goddamn Greek mythology with that. The dolphin and the lamb, and it's a whole lot of goddamn, animals and shit that is a zoo type, a spiritual, a zootypical totem, where you see that's the dragon, but understanding it's the attributes that personify the man or the woman. When they say this is the dragon lord, it's the attributes of having a keen mind that's thirsty for knowledge and shit and things of that nature. You see, the horn, a lot of people don't know that the serpent is also manifested in music. Now, we'll get off into that deeper as I go, because like I say, I'm in now. And so I'm gonna work out until, I damn near got a book. I'm gonna go through all my occult knowledge and shit, and and get back in the ring and shit. Like, I already know I'm at the top of my game, but I want to be quick with my shit. You know what I'm saying? And so even the horn, you got the matter of fact, let me get this in here. Let me get a little something in here. Yeah, I'm gonna give y'all I got to give you a little drop of wisdom. I know you're thirsty. So we got to get you a little knowledge in here now. I got to give you something, Where that one at? Okay, here we go. Where's that at? Okay, it's probably up here. Oh, here you go. I'm gonna more or less give you the etymology, a lot of the etymologies. So you could go do you some research. Let me take that out of here so we can see it. So you can go look it up, the etymology of things. And then when I give you this information, then you could go behind me and go do the research now. I don't want nobody to say, no, nigga, go do the research. Don't believe shit I tell you. Prove me wrong. Like the Grand Master, Baba Dr. Clark say, prove me wrong. I ain't here to be friends with you, nigga. I want to see you prove me wrong. That's what I want you to do. I need some paper. Hold on, fam. See, you got to know what words is, interchangeable. Now, when you start talking about the serpent, it's a lot of words that are synonyms of serpent. It means the same thing. So when you talk about the jinn, you see, when you talk about the jinn, you spell that with the J, but it's also spelled with the G. You see, so you can spell it J-I-N or G-E-N. And I know y'all niggas love the jinn, the G-I-N. Y'all niggas on that smearing off. Y'all go get that rock gut. I don't know what they, whatever. I don't drink gin. I ain't never fuck with that rock gut shit. But you know you niggas out there on that gin. You see, so that's why they call them spirits and shit. You see, that's why they call them spirits. And so, you know, so when you see gin, which is genie, you see, but genie it come out of the root word for genius. You see, genius, which is supposedly is like a guardian spirit that come with each and every individual at birth. You see, and they call that the genius. And they call it other things, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself because that's going to take us out of here. You see, and so when you talk about, so understanding that, and then you got what they call anagrams. I believe that's exactly, let me make sure I got that word right. That's right, anagram. That's a word or a word, a phrase, or name formed by rearranging the letters of another, such as, so say, cinema. You could take cinema and rearrange it, and it forms Iceman. But in this instance, when you rearrange the words, it actually means the same thing. So that's what an anagram is. So when you take, say for instance, when you take, and I'm gonna show you this, so you understand how Naga and Jinn is the same word. It's rooted in serpentine etymology. You see, is representing, and I'm gonna show you. Matter of fact, let me just show y'all this, so you will understand. You know, you won't have no misunderstanding on what I mean. Now, when you wait a minute, I have some good ones too. Where them other ones at? They over here. Matter of fact, they over here, I believe. I was just working on them. But that's all right. If I am, that's all right. Okay. This ain't the one. This ain't the one right here. It's the other one. It's the other one. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Here it is. No, that ain't it. I know which one it is. I know which one it is. It's this one. Or did I delete them off of there? Maybe I did. Yeah, this the one right here. Right here. So you can see what it looked like. So you don't have no misunderstanding on what we talking about. Okay, let me get back up here. Okay, here we go. Let me get back up here. Okay, let me put this over here. So this is before India. So what you talking about the Naga, which is many instances, you got the which is a human upper torso. A lot of time upper torso is in human, and the lower torso is serpentine. But sometimes it could just be just a serpent, but it still mean you will see, sometimes you will see the whole serpent, you will see the head dress of Isis, you'll see the cow horns, you will see the sun disk, and so that's Isis. Isis was depicted as not what they would call a Naga. You see, but the difference between India and Africa, in India, the Naga were considered semi-divine, which means that they wasn't on the level of deities, powerful deities. They were a lesser deity. You see what I'm saying? They were a lesser deity. But in Africa, the Naga was some of the more powerful gods, and even the pharaohs and the queens were considered to be Nagas. They were depicted as Nagas. You see, and so when we talk about and we'll show that. But anyway, let me get back. So when you see genie, Jini, it's the same as genie, Genie. You see, so the J and the G is interchangeable. The I and the E is also, the vowels is in. So once you know what vowels is interchangeable, then you can understand that many times you're looking at the same fucking word. So people that talk about the jinn, Some people talk about the Naga. All of them is diluted expressions of the what they saw in ancient Egypt, what they saw in Nubia, what they saw in Africa, and when they created their own mythologies, they called it, but the root of it let you know that it all go back to the same source, which is the source from the Nile. So when they talking about the jinn, let me tell you, they talking about the African mystics. That's who when they talking about them Nagas, they talking about the African mystics. That's what they talking about. You see, the Sufi, today motherfucker talking about, which means wool, the mystics, the woolly haired mystics, but they gonna show you some goddamn Turkish man with some goddamn hat on his head talking about the wool is the hat. That ain't got a goddamn thing to do with nothing. Man, Africans didn't have shrines and shit before time immemorial. They were the first Shriners. They were the first Sufi mystics. You see what I'm saying? So what you get today is diluted information. And you come even to Gnosticism, and they try, and I've studied the Gnosticism, and they got this little trick that they use where they talk about, oh, well, this demiurge, and they the goddamn demiurge. The Western world is the demiurge. Because every deity in the majority of the motherfucking deities that motherfuckers is worshiping today is white deities. So who the fucking demiurge? You understand what I'm saying? Yahweh, they act like Yahweh is some trick guy. Ain't no God, that's the white man created Yahweh and shit and Allah and all that shit. So it ain't, they act like the God is really real. So the demiurge is the Western world. You see? That's who created them goddamn. So even in that, they create something to throw you off. When the Christianity and the Islam don't work no more, then they create something else and shit and say, oh, okay, this the new thing on the block. That shit is old. That shit is some, misguided because it don't do what the fuck it was, it did it in the beginning for 1,000 years ago, but it's not working now. So now they coming up with other shit like Gnosticism, and that shit a part of the demiurge too, because the symbol that they use for the demiurge, which is the lion-headed serpent, in all the Kushite from Asia to Africa was looked at as a divine being. They didn't took it and turned it into some evil. So anytime you see that symbol, which you're gonna see it all throughout the Kushite world, if you own that crazy shit or the Gnostics and you see it, you're gonna say, oh man, that's the demiurge. So they doing the same shit. They no different than the Christians and the goddamn Muslims. So fuck the Gnosticism, the Hermeticism, all of that shit. That's some diluted, because at the end of the day, let me deal with it now, because it's about Christ consciousness. Ain't nothing more, that's the pinnacle of evolution. Okay, that's the pinnacle of goddamn evolution is evolving into your Christ consciousness. You feel what I'm saying? And so there's nothing above that. Everybody else out there, they talking around it, but but the thing is, they leave out melanin. They leave out melanin, so it's synthetic. They leave out the solar melanin divinity, because that's what you find in ancient Africa. Solar melanin divinity. They understood the power of melanin. They understood the power of the sun. So when motherfuckers, and we're going to talk about that today, when they talk about the grail, the holy grail, nigga, that's the pineal gland. You see what I'm saying? And then they got this shit they call the serpent and the grail. You see what I'm saying? And the serpent, we know what the serpent is. We understand that's the power, your spine, your spiritual spine. You see what the energy is, not just what you see over there is deeper than even that, which you see over, because they don't explain the melanin, because they so busy over there with that caste system. They don't want to talk about the dark melanin because they on some cash shit over there. You see what I'm saying? They on that cash shit. So nobody, if they ain't talking about the soul of melanin divinity, then you know it's diluted. So what they do is they use some synthetic means of trying to achieve some form of consciousness. I don't know what kind of, they using AI. They trying to use AI. They trying to do anything to outdo creation because they know they do not have the mechanism, the natural mechanisms to achieve that. You see? So when you look at the vampire, that motherfucker look in the mirror and he don't have no reflection. You know why? Because he don't have a soul. Because if you ain't connected to the soul law, you don't have no goddamn soul. What the fuck is that? And even when you go back to ancient Kemet, when they show the soul, they show it black. Why do they show it? Some people say that mean no, it show you that the spirit is in you is a piece of that cosmic melanin that's out there in the universe. That's what you come from. That's the beginning, and so shall you return back into the source of the cosmos, which is blackness. So they don't talk about that. All these motherfucking synthetic ass systems, even the goddamn alchemy shit, even though they use Kim and this, that, what they start with the base element, which they call primal material, is melanin, the cosmic melanin. You see what I'm saying? That's the primal material. You see what I'm saying? They don't want to deal with that because they didn't so goddamn demonize blackness and shit. They anti-creation. They anti-cosmos. So they don't explain it from that perspective. You see? They do not explain it from that perspective. So when you talk about the gene, now let me move forward so you understand what the genie, which come out of genius, okay, which comes out of genius, and it's a spirit that come with you. It's your guardian. It's a guardian spirit. It's a piece of the righteous cosmos that keep you in alignment. You see what I'm saying? Some people say it could be your intuition that tell you, don't do that shit. Don't you do that. It always tried to bring you back on the side of cosmic, energy, of cosmic balance, of cosmic harmony. You see, keeping you out in alignment and synchronized with the cosmos. So it's one that'll, more times than not tell you the right thing to do. It'll whisper to you. And so people say it could be your intuition. And so knowing that when you get a genie, which come out of which come out of jinn, you see genie, and we talking about genie. This you got jinn without the I, but genie, Jinni, is genie. Okay, just know that. And so when you talk about genie, you talk about genie, you talk about genius, you talking about the gene. You talking about the gene. So this is what we talking about: the serpentine, the dragon bloodline. Because what y'all thinking, y'all done been saturated with what the dragon means. So y'all see this evil thing, but in Africa, in the Kushites in Asia, it was a divine entity. It was a symbol of God, the creative force. It was one that brought knowledge and wisdom. It was one that came. It was a savior. So when you hear return of the dragon, it's the same as the return of Christ. It's the exact same thing. Okay, so when you talk about the gene and we talking about the DNA, you're gonna see the helix. As a matter of fact, I got it in there. I'm gonna give y'all just a taste now. I'm gonna give you a taste now. You see right there, you see gene, Genesis. So we talking about Genesis, and then even origin. So this jinn, this Naga, we talking about the African Naga. There's a difference between the African Naga and the Hindu Naga. You see? So be clear about that. There's two differences between the Indian Naga and the Kushite Egyptian Naga. You see what I'm saying? Because they're not talking about melanin, no. They don't say shit about, yeah, they tell you about all this frequency and energy. You motherfucker, everything in your body that's moving in any form of electricity, melanin is the conductor of that electromagnetic electricity is moving by way of melanin. And they don't tell you that because they too busy over there, as racist as they want to be, on that cast, and they got blacks at the bottom. So they don't want to explain it that way. Even though many of their deities, like Krishna and all of them, they black. See, so that you got them two-faced motherfucker. They know what it is. They're just like the Catholics and them got black Madonnas and shit. They talk about all the evil black. The demons is black. This is black. But then when you go into they most sacred chambers and shit, they got a black Madonna somewhere hiding somewhere. You see, so they know the truth, but they don't want you to know the damn truth. So when you talk about gene, you talk about Genesis, you talk about aura. Wait a minute. Let me make sure y'all see that. Yeah, it's coming up. Let me show y'all that. Let me blow that up just a little bit. You see, you talking, and so when you look at the DNA, you see that's in a helix, which is the intertwining serpents. And you see rooted in the helix is Helios, which is the sun. You see what I'm saying? And they know damn well they're not connected to the sun. You see, so they're going there and, in the hermeticism and all of that shit, and they'll tell you all this good shit, about, this is, consciousness, and they don't tell you nothing about the melanin. They don't tell you nothing about the connect, because soon as they let you know that, you gonna know that you the primordial on the planet, and that this is something that is solely for the primordials. That's why when you look at all the Christ in from the ancient, from the Buddha, from the early, what they want to call Yeshua, whatever and these are just figures. The Christ is a consciousness. You see what I'm saying? I mean, when you talk about Egypt, Egypt is arguably one of the only nations where you got damn near a nation of people that had achieved, or a majority of the people that had achieved Christ consciousness at the same time. This would allow them to be able to build all them damn megalithic world wonders and shit. You see what I'm saying? You had a majority of the people achieve Christ consciousness at the same time. Everybody else, they'll get one motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? They'll get one motherfucker here and there, but in our world, we have whole Ethiopia, you see Nubia, Punt, all the way, where you have whole nations, a majority of whole nations that achieve Christ consciousness at the same time. You see? And so when you talk about the gene, Genesis, helix, and Helios is rooted in what? It's rooted in the serpent. It's also rooted in sun. And that's why when you go to the Egyptian doorways, you see that Badetti, which is the right here, where you see the winged sun disc over and you see the winged sun disc over the doorway of the Egyptian temple. You see the two serpents right there, and you see the sun. This is where you get seraphim. If you're talking about the highest class of serpent, angels in the Christian and Hebrew mythology, that's where they get seraphim, the fiery serpent. All of that coming, that's us. See, so the serpent is a zoo type of those Africans who had achieved Christ consciousness. So that's why they show us as, as serpents, because the serpent is the source of wisdom. Again, I say writing, language, and all of that is, when you sit down and think about it and you see how you write cursive, you see you moving in a serpentine energy. Any of them, even if you ain't moving in, even the regular letters is still serpentine. The numbers are serpentine. When you, that's serpentine. The way you move your hand, that's serpentine. Period. Scribe, the scroll, that's spiral, that's coil. You curve, just like the like the serpent curve and shit. So all of that's why they attributed the serpent or the dragon to have knowledge and wisdom. They attributed it, the dragon and the serpent with library, with also with treasures too, gems and jewelry, magnificent jewelry. And they're, and it has more than one understanding, because a gem is not just a ruby or an emerald. It's also a wisdom. It's a knowledge that can be, can be passed down. So it has more than one meaning. You see, so when you see the philosopher's stone, the Orphic egg, the Naga pearl, and all these things, even when you talk about the Hebrew high priest, and all the 12 stones that's on his chest plate, all of that got to do, you understand what I'm saying, with the serpentine energy. You see, let me drop one more before I get up out of here. That's us. That's us. None of them other systems gonna talk to you about the melanin. That's when you know that motherfucker diluted. That's when okay, right here. So this is what I talk about. So this is Jinn. And see, they don't want to show you this, because they got niggas looking up on the screen thinking a Jinn means something evil. When you say it's origin, that's what it means. Okay, origin, and that's the same Jinn, because the dragon was looked at as a creator deity. So in Jinn, and I'm gonna show you this, Ori is also serpentine. You see, where you get Ouroboros and Orion and Ophiuchus, and that Ori is also serpent. So when I show you this shit, and I'm gonna give you the dictionary so you can go look this shit up for yourself, and you're gonna say, I'll be goddamn, this nigga said he out the gate with this shit. So in origin, in original, in gene, in Genesis, you find you find the Jinn, you find the Naga, because Jinn and Naga is the same word. All you had to do is an anagram. One is an anagram for the other. Jinn is an anagram for Naga, and a Naga is an anagram for Jinn. All they did with an anagram, you just rearrange the letters. All the letters is there. The only thing they do is change a vowel. The A, the E, the I, they are all interchangeable. They are all a Jinn spelled with the J-I, and genie, which is the same thing as a Jinn, is G-E-N. You see, I-E. So don't let them, flip on you and shit where you don't. Now, once you understand the anagram, and you look at Jinn, G-I-N, and you change it and you spell it backwards, you see it makes the prefix of nigga. It makes the prefix of nigga, which is Naga. That's exactly what it is, man. And ain't nobody gonna get around that. Once you understand sacred etymology, there will be no getting around this shit. Okay? There will be no getting around it. I appreciate you, family, for being in here. We keeping it going. Don't go nowhere. Come right back. Hey, man, give the video a thumbs up. Y'all know this the sacred knowledge now. You see, the general got to get back out here. We got to get back out here on this sacred knowledge. You feel me? Because, in this day and time, you ain't got nobody out here that's really teaching. You see, I be behind. I still do. Ginger is also. I had to look in the root of ginger, but I know that spice. It's something that got something. I had to look into that word now. I had to look into that word, but ginger too, very well got some, and you might have dropped that. I'm going to look that up. You see what I'm saying? But don't go nowhere, man. Make sure y'all share this. Put this somewhere, man. Make a goddamn playlist. If you got a goddamn YouTube page, goddamn it, make a goddamn playlist of some general setting. You ain't got to put that spiritual wisdom up there. You feel what I'm saying? If you got a YouTube page, man, make you a SETI playlist and put that spiritual knowledge up there. So when they come, they can get some wisdom on your page too. All right, family, this is General Sarasun SETI saying, hey, Jinx, now that one is. Jinx is. That's right. Most definitely. That's a part of that. Anyway, Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.